At 8 to 12 that morning, my sister texted me one line that ended 15 years of family peace. "I'm quitting my job. You'll take care of us while I figure things out. No greeting, no guilt, just expectation." I wiped my hands, stared at the message, and typed 4 words I'd never said before: "That's not on me." Then I opened my laptop and signed the overseer's contract, waiting in my inbox 10 minutes later. My phone lit up again, Mom, but what she wrote next didn't just test my patience, it forced me to choose between blood and freedom. Before we dive in, hit like and tell me, have you ever been the responsible one who finally said no? When people say family keeps you grounded, they don't mention how heavy the ground can feel when you're the one holding everyone. Bob, I've always been that person. Emma Pierce, 32, operations manager. The human equivalent of a spreadsheet. My parents called me the stable one. What they meant was, the one who never says no. Our family dinners looked warm from the outside, a roast in the oven, football humming from the living room, candles flickering against framed photos of vacations we couldn't afford without my credit card. But beneath the calm, everything was measured. My time, my paycheck, my patience. Mom would pass the bread and say, your sister's creative spirit just needs support right now. Translation: Jenna had another failed dream and another invoice. Dad would grunt from behind his beer. Emma grabbed the check, "Will you?" as if it were tradition carved in stone. And Jenna, hair perfectly undone, voice syrup sweet, smiling like she'd earned another subsidy ID. Sit there pretending the math didn't sting the rent. I quietly covered the insurance. I paid the vet bills for her dog I never met. My phone was full of reminders labeled family bills, a list that used to make me proud. It meant I was useful, dependable, the glue. But lately that glue felt more like handcuffs. Mom liked to say, family evens out in the end. She never saw that even meant I bled a little more every time someone else made a mess. I told myself it was temporary, that Jenna would finally get her act together, but she never did. And somehow I was always the safety net. Even Mike, my boyfriend, patient and kind, had started to notice you. "No, they don't love you because you fix everything right," he said. "They love you because it's convenient." I laughed it off, but his words stuck quiet and sharp. The last Sunday dinner I went to, I remember Jenna breezing in 20 minutes late, wearing an outfit that cost more than my week's groceries. Mom hugged her like she'd returned from war. "You've had such a hard week." I poured the wine, pretending not to hear. Later, when Mom leaned close and said, "You're lucky, Emma. You don't need anyone to take care of you," I smiled, the way people do when they're swallowing fire. That night, I opened my notes app and scrolled through the debts again. Each entry a confession I'd never made out loud. The list went on: phone plan, utilities, car insurance, apartment deposit. It wasn't just money, it was proof of how far I'd go to keep the peace. I didn't know it then, but peace was exactly what I was about to lose and somehow finally gain. It started small, like all cracks do. A late payment here, "Hey, can you just spot me till next month there?" But by that fall, every favor had turned into a standing order. My family didn't even ask anymore. They expected. Then came the morning Jenna announced she'd quit her job. She made it sound poetic, like a declaration of self-love. "It was toxic," she said at dinner, stabbing her mashed potatoes like a martyr. "I'm focusing on my mental health." Mom clasped her hands, eyes shining. "That's so brave, sweetheart." I stared at my plate. "When I'd taken a single sick day last year," Mom said. I was being dramatic. Jenna's boyfriend, Caleb, grinned across the table. "She's building a brand, something creative." Dad nodded, proud. "Faith, that's what matters." I wanted to ask if Faith could pay rent, but I bit my tongue. After dinner, Mom pulled me aside and, "Bakitsi and Huni, Jenna is going through a hard time. She just needs a little runway. You understand?" I did understand. That runway was paved with my paychecks. That night, back in my apartment, I sat in the dark. Payments, bills, insurance deposits, the numbers blurred. It wasn't a ledger anymore, it was a map of my exhaustion. 2 weeks later, the text came, the one that cracked everything. The morning light was soft, my phone buzzed. "I'm quitting my job. You'll take care of us while I figure things out." No greeting, no guilt, just assumption. For years, my instinct had been to fix, to send money, to smooth the chaos, but something shifted. Maybe it was Mike's voice. "You've been paying for permission to be loved." I wiped my hands, opened the message, and typed, "That's not on me." My fingers trembled as I hit send. It felt like detonating a bridge. Silence. I walked into the living room. On my laptop screen was the Dublin contract. I hovered for months. I didn't make excuses. Mom would panic, Jenna would crumble, Dad would guilt trip me, but not this time. I pressed sign document, completed a tiny notification, but inside something unclenched. 10 minutes later, Mom, her name glowing. Whatever came next wouldn't be love. It would be the price tag for saying no. Her text came, "If you want help your sister, don't come to Thanksgiving." For years, those words would have crushed me, but this time I laughed softly. That's supposed to scare me. It felt like freedom. I opened my bank, recurring payments, cancel, remove, deactivate. Each click seismic, my phone buzzed. Aunt Rose voicemail, family gives and receives. God will bless you tenfold. Delete. My cold. You did it. You said no. I said yes to myself. That line stuck. I started a new document. Exit plan, remove name from phone plan, unlinked, car insurance, cancel, utilities, freeze, credit lines, transfer savings. When I finished, I exhaled. My life finally looked like mine. By midnight, 23 unread messages. None said proud of you. Most said you'll regret this. Maybe I would, but regret would finally belong to me. 5 days till freedom. The next morning, my phone was a war zone. Asterisk family meeting. We expect you here. Don't make this harder. I typed. I won't be. They're typing bubbles. You will. You're unbelievable. Watch your tone. I silenced the chat at 6:52 p.m. The doorbell rang. Dad stood there. Opened the door. Emma, no. He muttered about disrespect. I didn't move. Footsteps faded. They weren't coming to talk. They were coming to win. The next day, Mom tried a soft voice. Sweetheart, Jenna is trying her best. Think about what family means. Delete. Evening FaceTime. All three of them. Mom, Dad, Jenna, Emma. Can we please talk like adults? I thought that's what I've been doing. Jenna jumped in. You embarrassed us. You made me look like a beggar. I didn't make you anything. You sent a demand. I declined. You don't believe in me. Belief isn't a bank loan. Caleb smirked in the back. She's uptight. No wonder you're single. Caleb, do you even hear yourself? Just a joke. Mom snapped. Enough. Emma, she needs someone responsible on paper. Dad leaned forward. It's not even risky. A small loan. 150 you'll co-sign. That's all. That's all. I repeated. You're asking me to guarantee a $150,000 loan for someone who quit her job last week. Don't be dramatic. We raised you better. Something snapped. Clarita, you didn't raise me to say yes. You raised me to survive. Saying no. Silence. So you're walking away from your family. Walking away from being your financial plan. Jenna cried. You're punishing me for being different. I'm setting boundaries. There's a difference. You'll regret this maybe, but on my own dime. I ended the call. Messages exploded. Threats, tears, guilt. I ignored them. Checked more boxes on the exit plan. By midnight, 43 calls. None from Mike. When he finally called, he said, "You sound lighter. I'm done." I said, "Then do something for peace." That hit deep. I drafted one last message. I'm leaving for Dublin Monday. Please stop contacting me unless it's an emergency. Send it. Next morning, Facebook posts from Mom, chain messages from Aunt Rose, crypto story from Jenna. They wanted shame. I felt still. Monday came. I zipped my suitcase. Every bill in my name, every key mine. Before I left, my phone buzzed. We won't forget this. Neither will I. At the airport, the engines roared. One small no had torn everything apart and rebuilt me. Dublin was grey, cold, quiet, healing, quiet. The company apartment was small, but mine. Every decision mine. The first week felt like relay. To breathe coffee that tasted like my own walks and the cold silence that felt earned. Mike arrived Friday. You really did it. You left. Yeah, and I'm still standing peaceful. Feels weird, but I'll get used to it. Nights were calm. Candles flickering. Phone silent. The absence of noise was a blessing. Weeks passed. I got promoted. Made friends, laughed one afternoon. I opened the old notes, bills, debts, obligations at the bottom. I added one final line. Debt cleared emotionally and otherwise. A month later, Mom left a voicemail. We're fine. Jenna found part-time work. Your dad says hi. I smiled. Distance was doing what love never could. It made things kinda. Sometimes I'd watch the canal lights ripple. The old Emma would feel guilt. The new one whispered, I earned this. Sunday morning sunlight on my kitchen table. No demands, no buzzing phone, just quiet. I thought about that first text. You'll take care of us. Maybe once I would have, but not anymore. I used to mistake being needed for being loved. Now, I know real love doesn't drain you, it steadies you. I looked over the Dublin skyline. Peace didn't come with fireworks, it came with silence. If you've ever chosen peace over guilt, share your story below. You're not alone.